What questions do you have about that idea? Okay, and now let's kind of break it down for this side a little bit. Why do you guys think we need things like religion and philosophy?
I forgot what philosophy means.
This is like thinking about stuff. You don't need evidence necessarily, you just think about stuff. You contemplate questions. Contemplate means think about.
Okay.
Why do you think we need things like religion? So let's just focus on religion.
Something to believe in.
Okay?
Yeah, so like something to believe in and something that that can like help you or like something that you can just focus on.
Okay? When you think about religion, in what ways does religion help you? Those of you who might be religious. Or even if you're not.
Like just in like any way or like
Yeah, how can religion help you?
like when you pray and everything.
Okay?
It can help you with a lot of stuff.
With what?
With like a lot of things.
Okay.
Like with the way you act towards others and stuff.
Okay? And kind of building off what you just said, religion kind of helps you understand the difference between right and wrong. That's kind of a main point of religion, is kind of helping us understand what's right and what's wrong. And depending on what religion you belong to, you will have different ideas of what is right and what is wrong. Why can't science help us understand what is right and what is wrong?
Because we study science. We don't study religion. Like
They don't believe in what other people believe.
Okay? Some scientists are religious. When you say we don't study religion. I would say we do study religion, but how is it different?
like in science, like you can like do experiments and all that.
Okay, and why can't you do that with religion?
I don't know.
What?
You just can.
Okay. Now, one of the assumptions of science is that whatever it is we're studying, we are able to understand it. Like that's one of, like, we're not going to study something in science if we don't think we are capable of understanding. We may not understand it yet, but when scientists start studying something, they assume we are going to be able to understand this. Those of you who are religious, if I said we can understand God, what would you say?
You're a liar.
Why? Why do you say that?
First thing that came to my head.
Okay.
Because like you read the Bible and it says like you don't see it, you just have to believe it.
Okay.
You don't have any other.
Okay. And so what I'm going to say over here is that if we look for evidence in supernatural, if I said I'm going to get evidence that there's a God and I can understand God, I'm not talking about God anymore. Because one of the things almost all religions have in common is they say God is not understandable. It's beyond our understanding. And so if we look for evidence in the supernatural, it is no longer supernatural. That's a difficult idea. But a lot of people, they want to find evidence for God. And I say, as soon as you talk about evidence for God, scientific evidence for God, you're not talking about God anymore. You're talking about, if human beings can understand it, it's not God. Because it says, in almost whatever religion you are, it says in all the main religions, God is beyond understanding. And science has to be able to understand stuff. Liz, what were you going to say?
I had to put it last day.
Okay. If you think of it, bring it back up. So, what questions do you have about those two things? It's not easy.
But isn't like the Bible the evidence that God's here?
In what way is the Bible not scientific evidence? Like, what's different between biblical evidence and scientific evidence?
What?
What's different between biblical, so Bible evidence, and science evidence? What's the difference between the two? It's a good question. I want to talk about it.
When the Pope or whatever, like when they read out of the Bible, like it'll be like a story that happened.
Okay. Okay. And something Horatio said earlier, he said science stuff has to be repeatable, or has to be able to happen again, right? The stories in the Bible, they happen once. And that's it. And so there's no way to repeat them. And so you can't repeat those observations, and so it's not science. It doesn't make it less than science, it makes it different from science. What are some of the really big questions in life that science cannot answer for us, but religion can?
Who created Earth or something?
Okay?
Why we are here.
Okay? What were you going to say? Okay? What got this conversation started?
Science and supernatural.
Well, no, I mean, we were talking about the difference between two things.
Science and the Bible.
Well, yeah, okay.
The Bible. The Bible.
If you want to know, somebody earlier in class said something, I don't remember who it was, said something about religion can be useful in telling us how to treat other people. Science can't help us answer that question. That's a religious or a philosophical question. Science can't even touch that question. And so when people say that science is going to solve all our problems, I'm sorry, but when you see kids fighting in the hallway, science can't help us there. Religion might help us, philosophy might help us, but really we just have to learn how to treat each other better. And science can't help us learn how to treat people better. There's no magic pill to take that makes you treat people better. That's a way of thinking.
Pill?
What?
What about that mood swing pill?
The mood swing. I don't know what you're talking about.
There's like this one pill they take where like it's mood swing. Like when you're depressed or whatever. Like.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so they have. You mean like you can take drugs from like psychiatrists and things like that will alter your moods, but that's a little bit different than knowing how to treat somebody else.
I was just saying. Yeah.
So we're gonna stop there for now.